Ah, the kitchen. A good place to start cooking. And the first thing you have to do is you have to be prepared to cook. Well, another thing you have to decide is what you want to cook. And you've got to decide where in the kitchen you want to cook. Usually this is a good place right here on the burner here. So what are we going to do today? Well, most of the time you have to, determine that from your customers, whether it be a friend, a wife, whoever might be in the kitchen. That's how you determine what you're going to cook, because they're going to raise their hand and say, mashed potatoes, I'd like mashed potatoes, and you've got to be able to do that. So, where do we start? We will, well, with a pan, of course. Any size pan will do. Here we go, a nice pan here. Now, something that's really important with pans is you have to make certain that the screw here is on tight, see? Otherwise you get a loose handle, and when you're going back and forth, it can drop. It's real important. So we're going to go ahead and turn this up. We're going to turn on low, and you usually want to have your supplies out, but that's if you're a real cook. But tillis cooking, you just keep your supplies wherever they might be. So we're just going to turn this up a bit. And just about 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters of vegetable oil. And we'll also have, let's see, what else? 2 centimeters of vegetable oil and just a little bit of Old Bay. And that's what we're starting out with. And again, this is for a special recipe of mashed potatoes. Now, we're going to let that sit for a little bit and get nice and warm. And we'll discuss some other techniques that you might for cooking mashed potatoes. We'll discuss that in more detail. Now, mashed potatoes, if you want to do like a special, just an early morning type of mashed potato, then you don't really need to do much, but just heat water, add potato slices, maybe put a few salt, pepper. But with tillis mashed potatoes, it's a little bit different. We use a lot of special ingredients. Alright, so we've got this pan all nice and hot now and nice and warm, and it's time to go ahead with the next step, and that is simply stir this up. So it's all down here, yeah. And you want to make sure you start off first. Before you do anything else, we're going to go ahead and put in some little carrots, baby carrots here. And just as many as you can get around the pan. That's just going to help flavor sauce, to flavorize the mashed potato. Next after that, we got a little mustard. Yeah, a little mustard here. There we go. Once you got the mustard in there, stir it up a little bit. And a few bacons. Yeah. You don't have to worry about overdoing it with the bacon. And the reason why you don't have to worry about overdoing it with the bacon is because they really bring out the flavor. You want to have a couple, what are these called? I can't remember. Pepperoncinis or something like that. A couple of those. Let's see, a few Twizzlers. We got that. And some lime juice. We got some lime juice going. We stir that up. Good. This is looking pretty good here. Let's see. So what do we do now? Well, we're going to let that sit for a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and add the final ingredient, which is mashed potatoes. Does that ring a bell? Cooking, anything like that, you've got to keep an eye on the time. We're supposed to keep this on for 10 seconds. So we'll start here. Here we go. Now it's cooking. Things are happening with the heat. And the ions are changing. The taste of the food's coming out. We got 3 seconds here. Good. It's okay to let the cat, that you might have a cat, and it's okay to let them have scrap. Alrighty, we are now ready for the next step. You've been waiting for this moment, and that is to add the instant mashed potatoes. There we go, and this is added right on top. You don't have to worry about having it on the corners of the pan. I mean, you can just put it right on top of the ingredients that spent 10 seconds doing it. So now you want to stir this up, and this is looking great. Good. It's smelling good too, boy. I tell you, that's good. All right. So next, what's next? Well, next is the presentation. How are we going to serve this to the customer. And that's what we're going to look at. Yes, the presentation. It starts with the plate. Now the plate, it's like a canvas. It's an empty canvas, and it's there to be manipulated some way with the food. There's some really elaborate things you can do, but if you're just doing mashed potatoes, you don't need to do a whole lot. Okay, so what I like to do is just start with the ketchup and just make this is it, just little things around the plate like this. See, that's all you got to do, and then some hot sauce. And again, you're just bringing out the color. That's all we're looking for, is a little bit of color here. And then we're ready for the add to the plate. That's it. Pretty easy. All right, so then that's there. All we got to do is add the food. That's it. And there's some tillis mashed potatoes. Looking good. And the final presentation is to show it to the customer, and this is what it should look like. Voila! There, tillis mashed potatoes. And probably get meal by any standards.